Hai young people, kami Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas Katolik dan Mandala Surabaya hadir untuk menyiapkan pendidik profesional abad 21 dengan 7 prodi yang kami miliki: prodi pendidikan fisika, prodi pendidikan bahasa Inggris, prodi pendidikan matematika, prodi pendidikan bahasa Indonesia, prodi PG PAUD, dan bimbingan konseling serta pendidikan profesi guru. Kami siap dengan segenap hati mendampingi Anda. Join us to develop your edu career. Be happy, be committed, and be enthusiastic. You will be the first among equal.
Welcome to the FIP!
Widya Mandala, a life-improving university.
Language Education Study Program. Come and follow me and let's take a look around.
Our vision is to become a distinguished English education study program at a bachelor level that prepare reflective and creative English teachers who give positive impacts on students and on the society in the spirit of Pancasila and the universal values of Catholicism. The mission is to conduct teaching, research, and community services to develop competent and professional English teachers who uphold moral values high, and competent English teachers who care, commit, and be enthusiastic in their profession, and competent English teachers who are always ready for changes, know how to use information and communication technology for pedagogical purposes, and strive for a lifelong learning. We have total immersion days both in Indonesia and abroad to give students insight about future career,
multicultural events to give insight to the world's cultures,
English Week to encourage students to be competitive,
workshop on language assessment to give students more insights on English language evaluation,
guest lecturers to broaden the students' horizon with external lecturers,
writing workshop to give students insights about writing in good English,
profession discussion to give insights about the students' future career,
internship in Radio Republic Indonesia to give students the real touch of the broadcasting industry,
sending students to debate competitions to empower their critical argumentative thinking,
sending students to competitions in regional, national, and international levels,
student scientific forum for students to have ideas about what to write for their thesis,
external teaching program to cultivate the students' social awareness by sharing what they are good at,
and international credit transfer to provide the students with the opportunity for internationalization.
Hi, my name is Hadithar Sunarlim. I'm the head of the English Language Education Study Program. It is quite unfortunate that right now you cannot be here with us. But don't worry, we're Samantha to show you around. And we hope to see you in person very, very soon. See you!
Okay guys, so we have 3 laboratories in the English department. First and foremost is the SAC. It is the Self-Assess Center. It is used for you to study independently, especially in improving your grammar. Laboratory, we have DLL, Digital Language Learning. It is a place where you can improve your listening skills. And last but not least, we have EDR2. It is a place where you can improve your reading and writing skills. Okay guys, you've seen everything. Isn't it cool to be here? We cannot wait for your coming as soon as this pandemic is over. See you!
Langsung saja ngeklik di sini, prosesnya cepat tak ingkar janji. Bila perlu buku bermutu, Periplus siap membantu. Periplus ada untukmu, Periplus siap membantu. Langsung saja ngeklik di sini, prosesnya cepat tak ingkar janji. Bila perlu buku bermutu, Periplus siap membantu. Periplus ada untukmu, Periplus siap membantu.
It's finished. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Carmelo from Periplus Education. First of all, I would like to say very warm welcome to all honorable educators, all participants, wherever you are. I hope you are all in a good condition. Very pleased to be with you all. Here I see on my screen it's already 141. Oh no, it's up already. 143 right now. And still counting. So excited because this afternoon we're gonna have together an insightful webinar about international global career. I see both of our speakers already joined with us. Miss Felippa Amanta. Miss Felippa, how are you?
Good, Mr. Carmelo.
Very good to see you. And also Mr. Tihomir Davchev. Hello, Tio, how are you? Cannot see.
He'll be joining soon, I think.
Okay, no problem. All right, thanks, dear. All right, for your information, Periplus hosted this event in collaboration with Widya Mandala University because we have same vision. It is to support education for the better future. We both of us, we believe that knowledge is power. We believe that language is also power. Okay, without any further ado, I would like to invite you all to sing our national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Mas Tony. From Widya Mandala. We are waiting a bit of it.
Bos, vitaminnya mana ya?
Okay, we are waiting. Community, can we sing right now?
Pak Jessica? Pak Jessica?
Yes, all right. All right, thank you very much. Before we going further, I would like to remind you a bit about our housekeeping rules. During this event, please turn off your audio. There will be a time for Q&A session whereby you can unmute and say something with moderator's permission. Or if you have any question, you can also type your question in the chat box below. All right, now it's time we are waiting for. I'd like to introduce our moderator, Pak Paulus Hadisutriswinarlim.
Okay, thank you.
Paulus Hadisutriswinarlim got his Bachelor of English Education from Widya Mandala Surabaya Catholic University, then obtained his master's degree from Master of Science from University of Groningen in Netherlands. He is the head of English Language Education Study Program in Widya Mandala, and he has been a teacher trainer for some years. His outstanding professional achievements have been very much acknowledged by his colleagues where he works. All right, so without any further ado, please welcome Pak Hadi.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yours, Pak.
Hello, and before we start, it is best that we hear, the speech of the Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education. Pak Lulu, the time is yours. The time and place is yours. Pak Lulu. Pak Lulu. Okay, thank you, Pak Lulu.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Oh my goodness.
Yes, clear.
Yes,
Pak.
Pak Lulu. Yes, we do.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Distinguished speakers, Ms. Felippa Amanta, MPH, Head of Research of CIPS, Mr. Tihomir Davchev, English lecturer in Sultan Qaboos University, the honored head of the English Department of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Widya Mandala, Surabaya Catholic University, beloved participants, teachers, and students, very good afternoon. It is a glorious moment for me to extend my warm-hearted welcome to you to this afternoon's online talk show and discussion on international careers in the global world, hosted by the English Education Study Program, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Widya Mandala, Surabaya Catholic University, Allied Improving University. This era of Industrial Revolution 4.0 and Society 5.0 really make the world borderless. The advanced development of ICT has made the world really borderless. Yeah, it opens wide the gate of worldwide career for millennials, and the millennials may develop their career not only domestically but globally or internationally, both in education or non-education field. This golden offer, however, provides you or the participant particular challenges to the millennials. How to win in the global career competition and development? Let's listen to our guest speakers, Ms. Felippa Amanta, MPH, yeah, Head of Research of CIPS, and then Mr. Tihomir Davchev, English lecturer in Sultan Qaboos University. I'm very sure this sharing moment from the two guest speakers will inspire us about how to develop our future career successfully. In closing, I would like to express my deep gratitude to the English Department, the host of this moment, this afternoon talk show and discussion, and then Mr. Tutu, Periplus, yeah, and all the participants, yeah. We hope that this very short moment will be really inspire us, yeah, all of us, and hopefully all the participants will get the real information in developing their future career. Under the bless of our God, I declare that this talk show is formally open. Thank you very much. Enjoy the talk show and discussion. Good luck. God bless you all. Thank you, Pak Adi.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Lulu. Wow, yeah, so you have been made aware.
Very sorry, Pak Adi. Unstable connection, Pak Adi, on and off. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pak Lulu, for having made us aware that actually our world is getting smaller because of this globalization. And also,
thank you.
You have career wherever you are. Thank you, Pak Lulu. So you can have career wherever you are, and it has been proven by many people. And today, two speakers are going to give their testimony about it, about how to work, you know, in the international setting. And before we start, I would like to say thank you for attending this seminar, and especially I would like to address students and also lecturers from Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa University, Universitas Negeri Surabaya, Universitas PGRI di Buana Surabaya, SMK Muhammadiyah Pacitan, so far away, and then SMA Kristen Petra 3, Sinjung School, SMK Negeri Tutur, SMK N10 Surabaya, SMK PGRI 5 Surabaya, SMK Al-Islah, SMP Stella Duja 1 Yogyakarta, SMP Negeri 2 Mejayan, and also TK Al-Azhar Syifah Budi Solo, and also our lecturers and also students, you know, from the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, from the Communication Science, from the Faculty of Engineering, and also from the Faculty of Pharmacy. Okay, now we are going to have our first speaker first, Ms. Felippa Amanta, or we usually call her Pipa. Ms. Felippa Amanta, or Ms. Pipa, is the head of research at the Center for Indonesian Policy Studies, where she focuses on food security and trade. Previously, Felippa conducted and published policy research with the Institute for Research on Labor and Employment at University of California, Berkeley, United States. When she returned to Indonesia not so long ago, she then worked at the Women and Youth Development Institute of Indonesia in Surabaya. She received her bachelor degree in sociology from University of California, Berkeley, United States, followed by her Master of Public Administration from the Australian National University with the best overall result, so with the best result, all right? And she was selected as one of Indonesia's future leaders by the British Council in 2017. And she completed also the policy and leadership training from University of Cambridge. All right, so we have a great speaker today, Ms. Pippa. Ms. Pippa, where are you?
Hello, Pak Hadi. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Nice to be, with you again, and also, like it's a great opportunity in this occasion. And I can hear you talk again. The last time I hear you talk, it was amazing. I'm going to listen to another amazing talk from you. Okay, so thank you.
Okay, so I will start, but before I do, I'd just like to say thank you again to Widya Mandala and also Periplus for having me. Thank you so much, Pak Lulu. I also see Bu Wuri here. Thank you for joining, Bu. And then also for the Periplus team, thank you so much, Pak Toto, Mas Luki, and Bu Ica as well from Widya Mandala. So it's a pleasure to be here. And for our students here and also our other guests, thank you for joining this wonderful event. Allow me to quickly share my screen. So as as Pak Hadi and also Pak Lulu mentioned, today we're going to be talking about career and what career will look like now in a globalized world. And since I come from a non-teaching career, I would like to share a perspective on the kinds of non-teaching career that you may think about or consider once you graduate. This is only just for your consideration. I'm sure a lot of you here would prefer to become a teacher, but this is just to present other opportunities that are emerging in today's world. As Pak Hadi have kindly introduced, I'm Felippa, but you can also just call me Pippa. And I will share a little bit of my story later when we're going through the types of career and the trends and the journey to get there. But yes, in general, I've worked in several contexts during my career. So starting with becoming a program associate in Berkeley, California, and also working at a local NGO here in Surabaya. I've also part-time as an officer in the Postgraduate Student Association in Canberra, Australia. And now my full-time career is as head of research at a think tank. So we conduct a lot of policy research and analysis and working with the government to develop policies in Indonesia. So that's a little bit about me, and you'll get to know me better in the course of the next 30 minutes. But before that, I also want to get to know you a little bit better. So if you don't mind, if you can go to Mentimeter or menti.com and put in that code, or perhaps you can also just click on this link that I shared in the chat box. I'm curious to hear how you're feeling today, because I'm feeling very excited to be able to talk to you today. I'm also feeling pretty excited to hear about you and your career and your dreams and listen to your questions later on. But now I want to also hear how you're feeling about today. So if you can go to the Mentimeter, and I will share my screen. Hopefully you get to see the Mentimeter right now. And you can just type one word or a phrase, how you're feeling. I think we're seeing let me try to share the Mentimeter. Great, so we're seeing a lot of excitement. We're seeing a lot of great, good, around that measure. Okay, I'll try this again because I'm not sure that the Mentimeter is showing. Okay, a lot of happy, so a lot of positive sentiment. Someone is a bit tired. Yes, it's getting late. Here in Surabaya, it's also raining, so it's a bit gloomy than usual. So I can see how some people are feeling sleepy. But in general, I think a lot of us are quite happy, excited. Someone is feeling blessed. I'm glad you're feeling blessed today. Someone is feeling a bit confused. Hopefully we can clarify that confusion a little bit later. Someone's hungry. Oh, maybe this will be a casual event. So if you want to snack while you're listening, I'm more than okay with that. A lot of excited but worried. That's an interesting combination we get there. Still, happy is the predominant feeling in this. All right, so thank you so much for sharing your feeling. I'm excited that I think the group overall, the general feeling is quite happy and excited. So I share that sentiment. And for you that are a bit confused and not sure what today will be like, let me just give you a quick overview of what my session at least will be like. So I will start off by talking about a career outlook in the current world, in the 21st century world. And then since a lot of us are from the English department in Widya Mandala, I'll also speak a little bit about the power of English in today's world. But not just English, then we'll move a little bit broader to what are the 21st century skills that we need. And then last but not least, I'll also share a little bit of tips and how to move forward from now. Hopefully give you some more inspiration of what we can do after this. Okay, so let's start with career outlook first. We have, I don't know, maybe some of you are still beginning your university, or some of you are towards the end. Some of you might be a recent graduate. But all of us at some point will have to decide what kind of career, what kind of job will look like. And maybe some of you have already decided that from right now. So I have another question for you now, just to get to know you a little bit better. If you can go to that Mentimeter again, the link is still the same in the group chat. I would like to know, what do you want to be in the future? So I'll set up the Mentimeter. Okay. Okay, I think the question should already change right now. So you might have to refresh a little bit, but I think now in the Mentimeter, it should show the question, what do you want to be in the future? So let me know if it's not showing. Oh no, I think it's already showing. So one word, what do you want to be in the future? So, okay, I like this. One person said he or she wants to be a rocker. Like would that be like a rock star? That would be cool. Maybe someone just finished watching Startup, the Korean drama. So someone wants to be a startup entrepreneur. But of course, I think given the audience, the majority of us wants to be teacher. Oh, this is sweet. Someone wrote, he wants to be a good father for his kids. That's very sweet. A presenter, a public speaker. I like this. A lot of teacher, either English teacher or a good teacher, which I think Mr. Tiho later on will definitely share a lot how to become a teacher. Translator. Oh, okay, this is interesting. So someone wants to become a secretary. A lot of different career options here, like news anchor. Oh, this is very ambitious. One person wants to become the next education minister. That's very ambitious, and I support that. A singer, writer, civil servant, a rich girl. Yes, I also want to be a rich girl. Illustrator, researcher. Yeah, please contact me if you want to become a researcher. We have a lot of different career options here, which is it's a good segue to what we'll be discussing today, the kinds of career options that are promising for you. Video editor, I'm looking at here again, embassy worker, a good housewife, a good wife, a counselor, a designer, just the different breadth of career options that people want. Okay, so I think that's enough of a taste of the group. We have quite a huge group today. Of course, there are many other career options. I'm surprised. I don't think I've seen a Celebgram in there yet. So that's interesting. Okay, thank you so much. It's very nice to get to know you and your aspiration in the future. So I'll just share from my perspective the kinds of career outlook, and hopefully those jobs, some of those jobs will be included in this section. But as Pak Lulu said earlier, the world is more interconnected than ever, not just in terms of the internet, which allows us to communicate and also to reach across the oceans apart, and we can communicate with someone from the US, someone from Africa even, but not just through the internet and virtually, but the world is also more interconnected than ever in terms of opportunities. So you, at this point, are able not just to visit other places virtually, but also if you want, you can definitely visit other places physically and get to explore the world. And this is what I've learned from my career, because there are so many opportunities right there. As perhaps Pak Hadi have introduced earlier, one of the examples during my career was that I had the best opportunity, or had the pleasure of being able to go to Cambridge in the United Kingdom through a program from the British Council Future Leaders Connect. And then there I met with other people from across, I think, 10 or 11 different countries, like from Morocco, from Tunisia, from Nigeria, from America, from the UK. So there are opportunities, and the best part of it are these opportunities are free. The only cost that you have to pay is your time and your effort. But I went there, all of the flights are paid for, all of the accommodations and the programs are all paid for. But what we have to do is only just to go browse, look for the application, have some effort in terms of your application, and then hopefully you'll get also a chance to explore the world through these kinds of programs. And this is not the only program. I know there are tons of other programs out there. So that's to say the world is more interconnected than ever. And then not just that the world is interconnected than ever, the world is rapidly changing. We are currently on the cusp of the 5th industrial revolution. So maybe we all know this, that the first industrial revolution comes when steam was invented, mechanization was invented. And this happened sometime between 1750-ish, so like centuries ago. And then the second industrial revolution comes with mass production, assembly line, manufacturing, electricity, and that's somewhere in 1850. And then 1950, 1960s come in, and then computer was invented, automation was invented. So now we're able to count through our calculators and don't have to use typewriter, etc. And then fast forward a few years ago, forward in 2015, the fourth industrial revolution was coined. So the fourth industrial revolution was introduced by, I think, Charles Schwab, I think. And then this is about cyber physical system, Internet of Things. And we see this in our everyday life because of just the prevalence of smart everything now. I think we know there's a smartphone, of course. There's now smart home, smart lighting, smart TV. even I saw now Xiaomi, for example, have a lot of like smart scale, smart vase that can water itself, smart planter, just all of the things that merge internet and daily physical things. But now in 2020, we're already looking at the fifth industrial revolution. So I just want to highlight the fact that between first, second, and third, the industrial revolution comes at about a century apart. But now between 2015 and 2020, just 5 years later, we're already talking about the fifth industrial revolution, which is about customization, personalization, and putting human design back into internet and computers. So quite a rapidly changing industrial revolution. And of course, with that comes a lot of uncertainties, a lot of volatility. And this is what in the business community, it's usually called VUCA, or V for volatility, U for uncertainty, C for complexity, and A is for ambiguity. And I'll just dive a little bit into this. So volatility means that change comes at a very rapid pace, and change comes very frequently as well. So there's a lot of volatility that the world sometimes is up, the world sometimes is down. We see this with trade barriers. We see this with, of course, now the COVID pandemic. You're never really sure what will happen next. There's also uncertainty that we cannot predict what will happen. Especially now, we don't know when the vaccine will be here, for example. We don't know what the next invention would be, what the next platform would be. For example, I was just learning how to Snapchat, and then suddenly now TikTok comes in, and now I have to learn TikTok again. There's a lot of uncertainty of what's coming. And then complexity is about how complex and interdependent everything is. And last but not least, ambiguity. Ambiguity is about how now it's hard to say for certain black and white. Everything is gray, everything is a bit unsure, there's mixed meanings of conditions, etc. We're never sure of what are the causes and effects of conditions. So within this world that's constantly changing, we can expect that jobs will be changing as well. With internet, with automation comes in, now the types of job that you're considering now might not even exist or might not be in demand anymore once you graduate or in another few years. So I'm sorry to say, I think some of you, for example, wrote you want to be a secretary, or you want to be like a data entry person, or you want to work in an office as an office administrator. But unfortunately, I've taken this data from the World Economic Forum, and it's tracking all of these different jobs in different organizations. And if you look here, office and administrative jobs since the past 5 years have been declining by the thousands. So office and administrative jobs are gone and on a declining trend because they're being replaced. No one really needs secretary anymore because you have your calendar on your phone now. So jobs are changing. The fact that some jobs are needed now is not needed anymore. But there are also emerging jobs. Of course, we know that a lot more technical or technological associated jobs are coming, for example, computers, engineering. But lucky for us who might not come from tech background, business and management are also emerging, and education and training is also still safe because they require high skill, require personality and human instead of the menial job from office and administration. So I have a quick question, and someone can write in the chat box if they know what this is. Does anybody know what this job is? Maybe put it in the chat box. I'm monitoring the chat box as well. If someone can guess or someone knows what job is being displayed in the picture. Yes, Pak Toto, the first one. Telephone operator. Yes, it's a telephone operator. It's a switchboard operator. So long time ago, years ago, a physical person have to like connect the cables to the right connector just for us to get like a telephone connection in. now it's gone. No one is a switchboard operator anymore. And this will also happen to a lot of jobs that we've been talking about, like secretary, clerks, etc. And this is also happening in Indonesia. So in terms of the jobs, the same data, World Economic Forum, is looking at the kinds of jobs that are emerging or in demand in Indonesia versus those that are being redundant or now being reduced in organizations. And we see that if I want to highlight, for example, data entry clerks are declining. Administrative and executive secretaries are now declining. Human resources specialists are declining. Recording, stockkeeping clerks, those are gone. But now a lot of people are looking at digital transformation specialists, business services, business development professionals. So interestingly, if you observe, the kinds of jobs that are reducing or declining are those that require low-level skills, menial skills. So those that doesn't really require a lot of thinking, but it's repetitive work. But the jobs that are emerging are jobs with high skills, those that require critical thinking and analysis and everything. So far we've learned about what the world will need in the future, and also the kinds of emerging jobs, so what you can be paid for. But of course, that's not everything in life, right? We want to be rich, yes, but that's not the only thing that brings us satisfaction. So I hope before we've talked and we've understand what the world needs and what we can be paid for, but what I want to give you is that you have to also consider what you love and what you're good at. And this is a concept that's from a Japanese concept called ikigai, meaning a reason for being. And this is also, if you're interested to learn more, available in a book format, which you can buy at any of your Periplus shops or online. It's available. But ikigai here is at the center of it. It's like the perfect spot if you can get all of those 4 components aligned. So if you know what you love and what you're good at, but also what the world needs and what you can be paid for Japanese people, that's the perfect spot. And that's when you can find your reason for being. So think about what you love and what you're good at. Now, one of the things that I'm particularly good at, and I'm thankful for that, is English. And I hope a lot of you also feel the same way with your English skills. And I think that's becoming very important now because Frank Smith once said that one language sets you in a corridor for life, but if you know 2 languages, that will open every door along the way. So Frank Smith is a psycholinguist that analyzes the different languages. So why English is important, and I'm very glad that a lot of you are from the English department here, because English will be crucial. It will be the fundamental skills to have once you're coming into all of these new career opportunities, because it expands your knowledge. You can read English language books, you can listen to English language YouTube videos, all of those online courses. You can also get a job, and this is not only for jobs outside Indonesia, but increasingly jobs within Indonesia are also looking for a person with an English level and an English proficiency. And also just in general, English will help you meet new people. So it's a really good language to learn. And the fact that you are able to speak English now is already setting you ahead of majority of Indonesians. So this is data from EF, English First, which we know as like an English language course, which tracks the different English proficiency levels across the world. And in Indonesia in particular, we actually have very low English proficiency level. We are at 74 out of 100 countries in the world. So if you can speak English, you're already ahead of a lot of the other Indonesians, and you're already more competitive than the rest. What you have to do now, and what we all have to do, is now just to keep practicing our English And that you can just do by continuously exposing yourself and also being confident by practicing it yourself. Speaking of English, please do let me know if I'm speaking too fast, if you're having a hard time understanding. Sometimes I tend to talk fast, so let me know and I can slow down and repeat some of the points myself. But English is not the only skills that matter. We also need all of the other, what I call 21st century skills, because that's what the employers will be looking at. And I speak about this not just as someone who've gone through the experience of looking for a job, but in my current position right now, I'm also reviewing people's CV and people's resume as I'm involved in the hiring process in my own organization. So I can share a little bit about the kinds of skills that I, along with all the other employers, are looking for. And it's quite similar to what the World Economic Forum is mentioning. There are top 10 skills that will be required in 2025. And they divided it by four types of skills, The first one being problem-solving skills. So these are skills that are highlighted in blue, such as analytical thinking, problem-solving, critical thinking, creativity, reasoning. And then you also have to have self-management, which is like active learning or being able to continuously learn and improve. And also, most importantly, resilience, stress tolerance, flexibility, relating to what we've discovered in the beginning about the VUCA world, being able to adapt with the fast-changing developments of the world. Not only that, but also working with people is something important. Leadership, social influence is something that companies are looking for. And then last but not least, technology use. And this is increasingly have moved. What I noticed, it's moved from basic technologies like Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel to now all of the other programming suites like statistical softwares or coding programs. So technology use, design, and programming. And this is also, that's the global view, right? If you want to get a job globally. But now just focusing in Indonesia for those of us who want to find a job here in Indonesia, a lot of this is similar. I'll highlight the few differences that Indonesia in particular are looking for in a career, in an employee, which are self-management. Compared to what the global world is looking for, Indonesian companies, Indonesian organizations are increasingly looking for someone with high emotional intelligence. And it's ranked quite high, number 4. So you also have to have emotional intelligence. And a lot of working with people as well. Things like service orientation is part of that, instruction, mentoring, and teaching. So kudos to all of the teachers here and who wants to be teacher. That's definitely a skill that's in demand in Indonesia. So mostly a lot of self-management and working with people in compared to the global perspective. But then you ask, it's easy to say this, it's easy to identify the skills that you have. But then what if I'm not good at those skills? What if I don't have those skills right now? So just out of curiosity, we'll quickly measure how confident we are with the skills. If you don't mind coming again to that Mentimeter, I'll set it up. And then I am curious to see how confident are you with the skills? We've talked about problem-solving skills, self-management skills, and then working with people skills and technology use. How confident are you? So if you don't mind coming to the link again, I'll share the link again in the chat box for easy access. So hopefully the Mentimeter is all set up. So if you just rate yourself on these skills. Oh, I think people here are very skillful. I'm joined by a group of amazingly skilled people. The average hits out about 6, 7. I think in this group, people have a lot of working with other people's skills, problem-solving skills. Not so much on self-management, interestingly. I think this is, the sample size is still small though. This is still at 20 people. So I'll give this a couple more minutes so people can reflect on their skills. Just while we're thinking about it, I'll remind again what some of these skills meant. Like problem solving includes things like analytical thinking, being able to solve problems independently, about creativity, about reasoning. And then self-management is about active learning, about resilience, managing stress, flexibility. Working with people is more obvious. It's about leadership, collaboration, and then technology use, technology design. Okay, I think more people are answering here. I'll quickly refresh. Oh no, it's still going. I think we see people here are quite technologically advanced. I like it. Of course, now everyone has to be technology advanced because we're all on Zoom every day. People have quite high problem-solving skills, not very confident with self-management, I would say, but quite high level of working with other people's skills. Okay. I'll give this just a quick refresh quickly. Yep. Okay, great. I think 40 people have answered, and that's quite a good sample size for today. Some of you might still be thinking about your own skills. So that's good to know. I'm glad I'm with a group of really advanced skills people. And then now, what happens for those of us who are still not very confident with our skills then? Because I'm also often not confident with my skills. I would suggest one thing, and that's grit. What's grit? Grit sounds like a funny new term or word. Grit means when passion meets resilience. That's what's called grit. And it's written by this amazing person called Angela Duckworth. If you're interested, there's of course a lot of videos in it, but if you want to dive deep into it, you can also buy the book. Again, I'm sure it's available in Periplus. But it's saying that while enthusiasm is common, endurance is rare. She's looking at all of the successful people here, and what they have in common are they have grit, which is the perseverance. Because a lot of us are passionate about something, right? We're passionate about, for example, singing. I know someone who's singing. We're passionate about perhaps cooking. We're passionate about music. But oftentimes we lack the perseverance to keep going when things get rough. And I've experienced this myself. I think every one of us have experienced failure. And myself, I've experienced failure. I've applied to scholarships and didn't get accepted. I've applied to plenty of jobs and didn't get accepted. So if maybe you can guess like how many job applications I sent out after I graduated college, that would be a fun quiz. So can anyone guess, maybe put it in the group chat, how many job applications do you think I sent out once I graduated from college in Berkeley? So there I was, fresh graduate out of college from University of California with my sociology degree at hand. And now it's time for me to find a job. How many job applications do you think I sent out? We have quite a range now, from about 15 to about 100 jobs. I think the average is now around 50. The answer, if you're curious, I was just checking this yesterday because I want to also share some of the failure stories, not just the success stories. I love how a lot of people are saying I only sent about like less than 10. That's very heartwarming. But no, I actually sent about 78, close to 80 job applications. And of course, probably like more than half of that is I didn't get a call back from the HR or from the organization. And that's a common thing for a lot of people. The world is increasingly competitive, it's increasingly changing. But the one thing that you have to hold on in your life is being able to say, well, that didn't go very well, but let me try again. So if you got knocked out, if you got rejected in a scholarship application, if you got rejected in a job application, just keep going and just keep applying and just keep moving on. Because that kind of perseverance is the key ingredient needed to translate your passion into success. I think that's kind of the basic understanding that I want all of you to take from this, because of course, all of those skills, getting all of those skills wouldn't be an easy thing. It takes a lot of grit to get to that point where we can get all of that four key skills, the problem solving skills, the self-management skills, working with people skills, technology skills. Now that's easier said than done, right? Like you can give motivation speech all day, every day. A lot of people say you can achieve anything, but you just have to like focus on it. But what if then sometimes we just like want to sleep? It's gloomy here in Surabaya. Like, what are some practical skills? What are some practical, some practical tips that can get you to that point? So I'll share a little bit from, this is my personal reflection, and I'm happy if you want to also share or ask questions later on about some of these tips. But what worked for me in particular is building good habits. So this is also inspired by another book, which I got from Periplus as well, which is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Very interesting person. He was a lazy person, just like me. Like we never exercised, we never really built a good habit. But then he figured out how to build good habits, basically, was how to make yourself consistent with your decisions, with your habits, and then build on those skills necessary. So I encourage you, if you're having trouble sticking to your habits or sticking to your goals, that's a really good read that I highly recommend. With building good habits, maybe you can develop a habit of, for example, I'll do my Duolingo app every single day, or maybe I'll exercise every single day, or maybe I'll learn public speaking every single day, or I'll read a couple of pages of a book every single day. So that kind of building good habits will get you to improve on your skills. And not just by building good habits, but also learning new things. For example, there's a lot of massive online open course right now available, not just through massive open online course platforms, but also through YouTube, through podcasts. So explore your horizon, learn new things, and preferably in English if you can. So you can also practice your English while you're in there. And then I also encourage you to talk to experts. I encourage you to reach out if you see an expert in your field. If you want to be, let's say, business development, or if you want to be a startup entrepreneur, for example, reach out to someone who's already working in the startup industry. I'm sure people are actually generally willing to share and to be a mentor. So I encourage you to do that. And then last but not least, be willing to go outside your comfort zone. There's a lot of opportunities out there that you can explore, but sometimes we're feeling not very confident with our own skills. For example, I know a lot of my friends, when I give them like scholarship opportunities, they're like, yeah, but my English aren't so good, or maybe my grades aren't so good. But what matters is you just thrive first outside your comfort zone, and that will actually pushes you to develop your skills and develop yourself. One last thing that I wanted to point out, and this is taken from the book by Atomic Habits, James Clear, is the power of 1%. What the power of 1% means is when you develop yourself or when you make improvements just 1% every single day, I'm not a mathematical expert, but the power of 1% is it will grow exponentially. And what it means when it grows exponentially is at some point your improvements will shoot up, will really surge. But in the beginning though, when you look at it, your improvement might not feel like a lot because you're trying first, you're not getting there. So you're feeling like you're not really showing any significant improvements in the beginning. Even though what you think should happen is that, oh, I'll practice here and then tomorrow I'll get better. I'll practice again, tomorrow I'll get better. But the getting better part is actually quite slow in the beginning. But after that, once you get to a certain point, your improvement will be massively felt. It will actually manifest itself much more significantly than in the beginning. So coming back to that grit point from Angela Duckworth, this is where your grit is really necessary to overcome this valley of disappointment and like being unsure about yourself, and then just getting there, plowing through it, and then hopefully someday once you get through it, you will improve yourself on all of those skills. So I wanted to end this. This is the last slide. I want this to end this on a practical, actionable thing. I've shared some of, from the beginning, the career outlook. I've also shared the kinds of skills necessary to get those career. But now I want us to end with one practical thing that we will do. So if you can go back to the Mentimeter again, I want everyone, each one of us, to write what's the one thing that you will do after this. That can be as simple as writing a book or reading a book. That can be as simple as learning how to, learning self-management, learning how to build good habits. That can be filing a job application, or joining in an organization, searching for scholarships, whatever it is. Perhaps it's just starting with if you want to talk to someone, an expert in your field. Whatever that is, write it in the Mentimeter again. And this can be sort of like a call to action for all of us. The one thing we'll do after this, oh, I like this person. Hopefully this is one of the students. Do my assignments diligently. A lot of becoming more diligent. Someone wants to register to volunteer in a leadership organization. I really support that. This is a good habit to have. I'd like to write 5 pages each day to finish the thesis. Yes, I support you. Good luck with the thesis. Learning another new language. That's interesting. So if you know Indonesian, you know English already, maybe learn Mandarin or learn French. I don't know. Read books. Prepare for the end semester test. Yes, I highly encourage everyone to prepare for your test. Good luck with the test as well. Read more to improve vocabulary. Finish thesis. Practice my speaking skills. Yes. There's a lot of really good websites or platforms that will help you connect to someone, an English-speaking person, that you can practice your speaking skills. Go cycling. I like that. If it's not raining yet, it's been raining a lot here. Practice grammar skills, prepare for exams. Try to apply scholarships and student exchange. Reading a self-improvement book. 10 pages a day at least. Yes, that's quite ambitious and I like that and I support that. Shopping at 12:12. Yes, you reminded me. I might do that as well after this. Finishing assignments, searching for scholarships. A lot of book reading, yes. And thank you, Periplus, for organizing this as well. So if you're looking for English books, head to Periplus. Getting more practice with daughter, that's very sweet. I want to develop my English, become better, talk in a British accent, and try to get a scholarship. that's a really terrible British accent. I also cannot do British accent. So if you want, yes, you can read or watch The Crown. Maybe you can learn how to talk in a British accent, the Crown way. A lot of really good reflections and action steps that I'm getting from the group. I think that since the time is running out, you can still reflect and you can still jot down your action steps in here. I think the Mentimeter is still open. But in general, that's the last slide. And I want to thank you so much for your participation and for joining this discussion. I am happy to connect with all of you, especially if you're interested in research career, if you're interested in scholarship opportunities. Reach out to me. I'm available on Twitter, Instagram. Feel free to connect. I'm happy to also help you practice English or give you tips to do that. And again, thank you so much to Widya Mandala and Periplus for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about some career perspective. And with that, I will give it back to Pak Hadi. Thank you, Pak Hadi.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Pipa. So it was a great presentation and also very interactive. Yeah, that is what I like from your presentation, because you don't just get to listen to you, but you also want us to be active. All right, now before we go to the second speaker, so I would like you to address some questions if you have some. So you may write down in the chat column. Okay, so just answer anything. All right, so you may also answer about, like how she was able to go to the United States, for example, and how it is different from here, for example. And what about in Australia, like things like that. So why not? If you don't have questions, so probably when we still have time, I can ask you questions. All right. Okay, so before that, let us wait from the audience first. So just feel free to just write down and ask anything. How do you prepare, yourself all these years, to be like the way you are, what you are right now? And did you do everything very diligently and things like that? Not everybody can get, the chance that you have gotten. How have you prepared yourself, from the very, very early start? So I guess that will be very useful for our students.
Thank you, Pak Hadi. That's an important question. And if I'm being honest and being absolutely trying to relate to you, of course, I'm not diligent every day. There are moments where, of course, I also procrastinate, as perhaps most of us here, moments where I just nap or things like that. But what I try to do is seize any opportunities that come in and being very aware of the kinds of opportunities that exist. So what I've been doing since high school and increasingly more in college is to participate actively in, for example, extracurricular organizations or in volunteering. I think I saw someone wrote in their action step is to volunteer in more leadership organization. I really support that. And I know this is quite a privileged opportunity to have, since perhaps some of us might not have the luxury because we have to also work for our tuition or to fund our schools. But if you do have the chance, please try to join leadership organizations, join volunteering program, especially right now during COVID. There's tons of opportunities to get engaged in your community as well. So by doing all of those activities, you're not only building your skills, but you're also building your resume. And that will open up more doors. So it's like you're opening one door and then the door opens up to 5 other doors, because I volunteer, and then that's how I got a chance to, for example, get selected as one of the future leaders in Cambridge, UK. And then from that training, I got the scholarship to go to Australia. So really by building each step, by taking all the opportunities, you're hopefully moving forward in your career in life.
Oh, now we have a lot of questions, after I asked you the first question. So the first one is from Lei. He's asking if how important is, academic degree? What about if you have potentials but you don't finish your degree?
This, I would really still encourage you to get your degree. I think it's still a very important thing to have because it opens up more career opportunities. But with that being said, I also know there are a lot of dropouts that are still managed to be successful. For example, a lot of the startup founders are college dropouts. So don't be discouraged if you are a dropout. But I would still very much encourage you to get a college degree because as, for example, someone in my position in my field, the college degree is still something that HR will consider, for example. But if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you want to become a startup person, that's also fine. I think different peoples will have different life options. So just what matters is more of the skills rather than degree. Because this is also another important point. If you have the college degree, but you don't have the skills, it's also quite useless, to be honest, because then once you get to work, the college degree doesn't really teach you anything or prepare you anything for once you get to work.
Okay, so I guess it is best to have both. All right. Now, there are a lot of questions, Ms. Pipa. So I think if you are willing, and if you can cover everything, you can answer quite briefly for each. What should I prepare to be able to study in the US? From Petrus.
English language and critical thinking. So read a lot. US is very different than Indonesia, from Indonesian high school at least, because they don't expect you to just describe your memorization. They expect you to give you analysis. So yes, critical thinking and language.
Okay, nice. Okay, so I guess that is correct. So so in my class, in Europe, I didn't get explained by the teachers, but when the teacher came into the class, they kind of, started kinds of discussion. Something like that. All right, so this is about stress coping mechanism, stress and anxiety coping mechanism. What about if you feel stressed out, you are anxious? Okay, so how do you overcome?
Everyone will have different stress and anxiety coping mechanisms. For me, it's music and also doing a little bit exercise. So sometimes I'll just put on a very mellow music and just let everything out. Or also exercise because it's proven that increases your happiness level. So go just take a walk outside, breathe some fresh air, and that will be refreshed. And also get plenty of sleep. That's also another important point.
And there is another question about your organizational experience, how important that is.
I'm on the side that I think organizational experience is quite important. I'm not sure about the thread on Twitter, but I think organizational experience is proof that you have the skills to work with other people, you have the leadership skills, you have also the motivation and the initiative. So I think based on my experience as I've actually just finished a round of recruitment, but I think organizational experience is something that a lot of employers and HR are still looking for.
There is a question from Faisal, how can you get to this level? You are young, you are potential, and you have had your first 2 degrees abroad, and now you are working, in quite an international setting, at least, it's like national scope organization. And what first steps did you take to get to the point?
That's an interesting question. First step was joining an organization, actually, speaking still about organizational experience. I think in high school, for example, I joined the journalistic extracurricular in my high school, and that kind of just sets the ball rolling for me to get active in other organizational experience.
And there is a question from Mr. Ronnie. Okay, so his daughter is studying in junior high school, and Mr. Ronnie would like to have her daughter fluent in English, but like she feels shy. How to overcome that one?
Yeah, that's a very common question that a lot of people have, because they feel shy and they feel like their English isn't good enough, so they feel like they wouldn't be confident in speaking that. Although practice, I should say, is just the one thing that you can do to improve your English skill, is just to practice every day. If she's shy to talk to you, maybe you can also connect her to other people that she might feel more comfortable with, for example, friends who speak English, or I know there are certain platforms that can connect you to people in the US or people in other worlds that are English speaking, so you can practice your English skills directly to other people. Other than that, if she's still shy about speaking, maybe get her to listen to other people speaking, and then even if other people's English speaking level is still not quite good enough, she might take comfort in knowing that actually other people also doesn't really have perfect English, but they're still okay in speaking it. So hopefully that helps.
Okay, the next question is about SKS, Sistem Kuput Semalam. What do you think, Ms. Felippa?
That's a very good question. From my own experience, having done both SKS and also planning ahead is always better in terms of quality. Because when you're doing SKS, you're sleep deprived, you're a bit anxious about having so little time. So if you can plan ahead, always plan ahead, organize, know what's coming up in the next month, know what's coming up in the next week, and do your reading ahead of time, do your assignments ahead of time instead of SKS.
So you're right. When you do SKS or Sistem Kuput Semalam, yeah. To sleep, and then and somehow there were cases that actually students who do SKS just overslept and missed the exam.
Oh no, yes, that's terrible.
Okay, so this one is a question from Tisa Widya. Say, I'm enjoying your talk, wondering why you chose to study in the US, and did you do reflective writing?
Thank you. I chose to study in the US because I'm passionate in sociology as a field, and I was looking around and saw that University of California, Berkeley had quite a high-ranking sociology degree. So that's why I ended up in the US. So do your research about which country is best for your field. It doesn't have to be the United States. Know what you're passionate about and know which place or which context would be better suited for that. And in terms of reflective writing, yes, I also do that sometimes if I remember, but I journal. So I write my diary sometimes just to reflect on the process, the failures, the successes. And that really helps also deal with anxiety, as someone asked earlier.
And there is another question, how to be confident?
That's a really good question. That's also something that I also am trying to continuously improve on. How to be confident. What works for me personally is actually, it's quite maybe counterintuitive, but how I was able to be confident is acknowledging and knowing that other people wouldn't really care as much as you care. When you speak or when you make mistakes, usually what ended up happening is other people will forget your mistakes. You will be the only person who remember your mistakes, but other people will forget and move on. So knowing that actually helps me a lot. Other people don't really care as much as you do. So just be confident and deliver it. And it takes practice though, but good luck. Hopefully it can help a little bit.
Okay, nice. So perhaps very briefly, just 1 minute. So you're studying sociology. So that is quite a rare subject people take. So probably you can talk a little bit, probably some people have, intention to study something that is not common, so probably they get pressure from the family. Don't study that. If you study that, are you going to make a living? Does your mom, did your mom say that to you, or did she just let you choose what you like?
Thanks, Pak Hadi. I'm thankful that my parents themselves are very supportive of the choices I made, but that is definitely a question that I get a lot from my other family members, the extended family. Of course, they ask, what is sociology? Is that psychology? Are you becoming a psychologist? So they don't know what sociology is, but what helps for me was that you can try to explain what it is and why you're loving it. And I think if you can show you're passionate in it, I think other people will tend to support you even better. And it's better even if you can perhaps show the World Economic Forum earlier to say, this is the field that I love. And look, it's actually an emerging career opportunity. So hopefully that can help you get the support you need.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Pipa. Okay, so I hope that, we can get motivated, listening to all these things. And Evelyn, probably if you are around people who are motivated, people who are diligent, people who are productive, you will also be like them. But if you get along with people who are not productive, people who are lemot, lelet, so probably they will infect you. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much once again, Ms. Pipa, and all the questions. And before we go on to our second session today, we are going to have a short break, but please do not leave the Zoom because we have information for you. Thank you so much, Ms. Pipa, and we wish you all the best in your future career. And I
Thank
hope
you so much.
To have you talk, for us again. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you, Pak Hadi, and thank you everyone for the question. That was wonderful.
Okay, so right now I would like to, okay, so return to the committee. Thank you so much.
Language Education Study Program. Come and follow me and let's take a look around.
Our vision is to become a distinguished English education study program at a bachelor level that prepare reflective and creative English teachers who give positive impacts on students and on the society in the spirit of Pancasila and the universal values of Catholicism. The mission is to conduct teaching, research, and community services to develop competent and professional English teachers who uphold moral values high, and competent English teachers who care, commit, and be enthusiastic in their profession, and competent English teachers who are always ready for changes, know how to use information and communication technology for pedagogical purposes, and strive for a lifelong learning. We have total immersion days both in Indonesia and abroad to give students insight about future careers,
Multicultural Events to give insight to the world's cultures,
English Week to encourage students to be competitive,
Workshop on Language Assessment to give students more insights on English language evaluation,
guest lecturers to broaden the students' horizon with external lecturers,
Writing Workshop to give students insights about writing in good English,
profession discussion to give insights about the students' future career,
Internship in Radio Republic Indonesia to give students the real touch of the broadcasting industry,
sending students to debate competitions to empower their critical, argumentative thinking,
sending students to competitions in regional, national, and international levels,
Student Scientific Forum for students to have ideas about what to write for their thesis,
external teaching program to cultivate the students' social awareness by sharing what they are good at,
and international credit transfer to provide the students with the opportunity for internationalization.
Hi, my name is Sunarlim. I'm the head of the English Language Education Study Program. It is quite unfortunate that right now you cannot be here with us. But don't worry, we're Samantha to show you around. And we hope to see you in person very, very soon. See you!
Okay guys, so we have 3 laboratories in the English department. First and foremost is the SAC. It is the Self-Assess Center. It is used for you to study independently, especially in improving your grammar. Laboratory, we have DLL, Digital Language Learning. It is a place where you can improve your listening skills. And last but not least, we have EDR2. It is a place where you can improve your reading and writing skills. Okay guys, you've seen everything. Isn't it cool to be here? We cannot wait for your coming as soon as this pandemic is over. See you!
Langsung saja ngeklik di sini. Prosesnya cepat, tak ingkar janji. Bila perlu bermutu, Periplus siap membantu. Periplus ada untukmu. Periplus siap membantu. Langsung saja ngeklik di sini. Prosesnya cepat, tak ingkar janji. Bila perlu buku bermutu, Periplus siap membantu. Periplus ada untukmu. Periplus siap membantu.
Okay, thank you. Now, before we start, is there a word from the committee or we just go on?
Just carry on, Pak.
Okay, thank you so much. So I hope you are still with us. Okay, so we still have 145 people here in Zoom, and also about I don't know, but some people are saying that they have also some audience in YouTube. All right, now our second speaker is also here. Is already here. He is Mr. Tihomir Davchev. Okay, where are you, Mr. Davchev?
Good afternoon. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Now, before you start, I would like to introduce, you to the audience first. All right, Mr. Tihomir Davchev is a friend of mine, and he's a senior English instructor at Sultan Qaboos University in Muscat, Oman. So, where is Oman? Do you know? So you can ask him later. And he earned his bachelor's degree in English language and literature SS Cyril and Methodius University in 2011 in Skopje, Macedonia. So do you know where it is? Okay, so probably you can teach us some geography, Mr. Davchev. And Tihomir Davchev obtained his MA degree, so Master of Arts degree in TESOL, teaching English to speakers of other languages from the University of Leeds in the UK, United Kingdom in 2013. So I guess it was when you met Mr. Andreas, our colleague. Is that true? Okay.
Yeah.
At private language schools, European Union projects, and universities in Macedonia. And his work also included teaching at university level in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and currently, I just call you Tiho, okay? And currently Tiho is teaching academic writing for science to students from the science and agricultural colleges at Sultan Qaboos University. And he has been also an active IELTS examiner. Wow, you are an active IELTS examiner. So you can imagine, guys. So Tiho is not a native speaker of English, I suppose, but he can be, the IELTS examiner, which is, wow. I think, because his English is near native. Otherwise, it is impossible. I know how hard it is for people to register to become the examiner of IELTS. And he is also a life skill examiner with ITP Australia, since 2016 and 2019 respectively. His personal interests are playing and coaching tennis, hiking, swimming, and traveling the world. Okay, I guess, traveling the world is your last hobby that I share. Okay, so right now, Mr. Tiho, or Tiho, I just call you Tiho, is going to talk about, how to work, outside your home country. And the challenges and everything. So I guess it's gonna be like an insight for all of us that if you think that you will graduate from Widya Mandala, Surabaya, and then you plan to work also in Surabaya, why not try to dream farther? So try to get a career elsewhere. So in Kalimantan, probably if it is still in Indonesia or Papua, or probably go international. So why not? So Tiho is going to give you, insights, about those opportunities if you are willing to try. Okay, now time is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hadi. I hope that you can hear me. Yes, thank you so much for the introduction, and I'm really glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation to both Periplus and to the university in Surabaya, and I hope that this talk will be useful for you. So I hope that you will get something out of it, and you can ask me some questions, of course, after that in the 20 minutes after my session. So without just delaying, I will just share my screen. I hope you can see it right now. Yes, can you see it? Great. All right. So my presentation today is called Being an International English Teacher. So I taught in 2 countries so far, and also in my home country, where it's quite an international society, I would say, because we have quite a mix of nationalities. And I would talk about that as well. And hopefully I will motivate you to do the same. So to become an international English teacher and teach in another country except Indonesia. So going to the second slide, this is the overview of my presentation. Yeah, so first I'll talk about some my education experience as an international student in the UK, where I did my master's in TESOL. And then I'll talk about how I searched for a job, which was not an easy task, even after graduating with an MA from the UK. So I was asking all these questions to myself, am I good enough, right? I'm still a young, quite inexperienced teacher. So is it really easy to get a job after the master's? Then we'll talk about my working experience and challenges in my home country as an English instructor. That's Macedonia. And Macedonia is a very small country in Europe, basically in the southeast of Europe, with only 2 million people. So I can imagine that maybe some cities in Indonesia have more people than my whole country. So you can imagine how small it is, and basically everybody knows each other. Then I talk about my working experience and challenges as an English instructor abroad. So first in Dubai and then in Oman, where I'm currently working at the Sultan Qaboos University. So we'll try to see what kind of experience can you get as a teacher in a country abroad, as well as what are the challenges, right? Because it's not easy, as we know, to move to another country completely and work there for a long time. So the benefits of working abroad will be also mentioned, of course, and there are so many benefits. We'll talk about them near the end of the presentation, which will be followed by the continuous self-improvement part. So I'll talk about how you can self-improve as an English teacher or English professional, just in general, whether you want to be a researcher or just a teacher, an examiner, or other jobs related to English, the English language, basically. And we'll finish with what's next. So what are you supposed to do next? What do you should do next? And hopefully we'll have some time for questions at the end. So I'll just move on to the next slide, and we'll start with my education abroad. Before I talk about my education abroad, I just want to say that I finished a Bachelor of English Language and Literature in my home country at the biggest state university there. And I was quite happy of all the quality teachers and material that we had, where we learned a lot about English literature, the history of English as a language. And I think that I had a really good basis based on that bachelor degree to go on and study MA at Leeds University in the UK. So basically at Leeds, I studied MA in TESOL, which is teaching English to speakers of other languages. And I wanted to focus more on this because I didn't just want to study the language. I didn't want to study linguistics or just applied linguistics. I really wanted to have this blend between the language and how to teach the language. So it was more oriented on how to teach different skills. So this is what I really preferred to do in the UK. And what was really beneficial there, we had some really high profile researchers as lecturers. So maybe you heard or you read articles from some of them, like Simon Borg or Martin Lamb. These were all our professors at the university. And it was a great experience learning from them and really giving us this insight of their experience as a teacher there at the university. The second point I would like to make is there were so many interesting modules in this master's. So if you have an option to do a master's abroad, I would really encourage you, especially TESOL, because it has really interesting modules, like, for example, creating materials for language teaching or assessment in language teaching, so focuses on the assessment there. Also, there were modules about different skills, so how to teach listening, for example, or how to teach reading. So all these were quite interesting, and we found out more knowledge actually after our bachelor degree. I think I can speak for every classmate in Leeds when I say this. And this is the third point, basically, the classmates. I enjoyed interacting with people. It was a really good experience. They were from all over the world, not just in the TESOL program, but overall in the School of Education. So studying abroad is a really good option to meet new people and to have friends all over. And this is part of why I'm here today, basically, because Mr. Andreas Trisusanto invited me to give this talk, and big thanks to him as well. So while we studied in Leeds, there were so many events to make you feel welcome. And this is what I liked about this country. At first, I was hesitant. Okay, it's Britain, it's British people, so they're a bit cold, right? I come from the south of Europe, so they're not as friendly as other nations where I went and traveled. But the university really takes great care to organize all these events for students, whether it's dinners or parties, or just gatherings to inform students about their life in Leeds, which is quite nice of them. And they're all free. You meet people from different colleges as well. So that's a really good idea when it comes to a university. And I hope that universities in Middle East will do that as well, because they do it at a lesser scale at the moment. Furthermore, there were so many clubs and societies that students could join in. So this was also one of the benefits of studying abroad. Whereas in my university back home, there aren't so many clubs related to hobbies and related to your major, perhaps. In the UK, there were so many of them, so you could really choose, and you don't know which one to attend, because you have a lot of choice nowadays. So then I participated in the tennis club, chess club, and other societies. There was a reading club as well, which I attended once. So it was quite a big step forward in terms of developing hobbies as well. I would say that this was maybe the best period in my social life, because there were so many people from different countries, and we interacted every day. We really hung out together, and this was really a great experience, which of course improved my communication skills and also gave me a boost in communicating with people, which I think is really important for every English teacher, because if an English teacher is not communicative, then there would be a problem with students and colleagues as well. And the last but not least is the long life friends that I made in Leeds. So I really stay in contact with most of them there. So I hope that we continue that trend, and we will visit each other in the future, and hopefully maybe visit Indonesia and Surabaya to see all of you one day. So these are two pictures from the IATEFL conference that we attended while we were studying in the UK. And this is, maybe you know about this conference, it's one of the biggest conferences for English language teachers. And for me, it was like a dream coming true, because you have all these ELT professionals that are there presenting. You can actually talk to them. They're quite friendly in the lobby. You can see on the first picture, everybody is sitting down, chilling between sessions. And you can approach anyone, it's really a good thing to network in the English language community, English language teachers community, actually. And you can see the hall on the second picture, which was the place where the plenaries were held. And it was quite an amazing hall, which fit more than thousands of people. So we gained really valuable knowledge at this conference and made some really good contacts for our future careers, and we'll still stay in touch here. And on the first picture, I'd like to mention big hello to Lei, she's Vietnamese in the middle, and Peter, British fellow on the TESOL program, who are really good friends, both of them today. And I went to visit both of them in their countries. And this is a face you might know. So this is after all the hard work. We're finally graduating. This was after a year of writing, rewriting, editing. So we are quite happy at this day with Andreas because we are finally graduated and we can go and look for a job at this point. So it was quite a happy moment with us, and some of us brought our families there. It was a nice experience, definitely. All right, let's go on to talk about what happened after. So this was all really nice and a great experience, but now comes the tough part, right? We have to search for a job. We finished MA in TESOL, we learned quite a lot, and we are eager for new challenges, right? So we want to take on the world, we want to teach, we want to go in the classroom and practice what we were taught, basically, what we learned at this master's. So we were quite eager to get a job, and most of my colleagues got back into their countries, but I wanted to kind of teach abroad and go to another country just to try as a different experience. So of course now we had improved communication skills, research skills, writing skills, and it was maybe easier to get a job because of these things compared to the people who studied at home perhaps, but still it was quite tough in this process. I would like to mention here that I did my thesis on teacher motivation, and there will be a survey at the end, just for you to answer if you choose to, about how motivated you are as a teacher. So I was wondering myself, if not me who should get a job, I should know that teachers are motivated, that they want to teach, right? I researched all this from a master's, so I think I was good enough to get a job at this point. And I knew what I wanted from my job, definitely. Plus, of course, as I mentioned, I had the MA from the UK. It's a Leeds university, it's a reputable university, especially the School of Education is very, very famous there. So it's quite a good reputation when it comes to that. So my aim was to teach at university level because I prefer to deal with mature students and I wanted just university jobs. So it's very important here to know what your aim is and not to be all over the place, as we say. So I applied for some jobs in Asia, Middle East, Europe, and I wanted really to go abroad at a university and to teach. We go to the next slide. And this didn't work for some time, but in the meantime, just after my master's, I got an opportunity in my country. So I said, okay, let's take this job and get some experience behind the master's, and then it would be maybe easier to get a job abroad. So my first job was at the International Balkan University, and this was back in my home country, but I included here as my international experience because the name of the university is international. So indeed we had students from 18 to 20 years old. they were from many nationalities, not just Macedonians. There were Albanians, Romanians, and Turks. And basically, it's a Turkish-funded university, which brings Turkish students to Macedonia for them to learn English. And I taught there in the foundation program, basically the 4 skills: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Whereas we had extra classes for weaker students because the students from Turkey were quite weak. And we ended up having extra classes after the regular classes there. What I liked about my first teaching experience is that there was a lot of cooperation among colleagues. So we shared a lot of materials, we designed tests together, we talked about students, problematic ones or really good ones. So I like this atmosphere of real cooperation between colleagues, and that was really important for me, especially having this support from older colleagues who were there in the profession for quite some time. And this is why I really loved my first job at the university here. Then I wasn't happy about some aspects of my job, which I'm not going to mention here, but I wanted still, this desire was still present to go and teach abroad. So my first international experience was in Dubai at Jumeirah University. It's a small private university. And here I have a very funny story. Everything was done through a phone interview. I had several calls from the university, and then I received a plane ticket to come for a face-to-face interview and to do a 30-minute sample lesson of teaching before I sign any contract. Before I, of course, went to Dubai, I wanted to research what kind of university is this. There was not a lot of information about it. It was fairly new university, not a lot of program plans on the website. And my parents honestly thought that somebody is going to kidnap me. So they were really in panic. The last few days before my trip to Dubai, they said that it's quite dangerous. We don't know anything from the university. We don't have a contract. We don't have a signature of a person. We just have a plane ticket so far. So it's quite dangerous for you to go. But I was really resolute, and I was really determined to try my luck. And because they really needed an English teacher at that time, I decided I would still go to Dubai and do the face-to-face interview there. So luckily, nobody kidnapped me and asked for a ransom. I did my sample lesson, 30 minutes, to the university staff, but of course I had to do a lot of research before that. It's a different culture, it's the Arab world, so I know that some topics are taboo topics, and I shouldn't mention them in my lesson, yeah? You behave differently towards males and towards females, so all these parts were really important in my sample lesson at this university in Dubai. So finally, I got the job, I signed a contract. It was a very welcome atmosphere, brand new facility, which was really amazing to me because at home at the university, there is not much investment in terms of the building and the facilities that students can use. So I was really surprised that they have all these points here in Dubai. So how was it to move to Dubai? I come from a relatively small country, as I said, so it was quite astonishing to see so many skyscrapers in the city, totally different culture than mine, and of course, totally different university culture, where the campus was divided into male and female part. So you either teach a full male class or a full female class. And it was quite tough at the beginning, I would say, because there is no dynamics like back home where males and females interact in the class. But then with a certain amount of time, of course, you get used to it and you kind of get this bond with students. It was tough in the point that we had to travel a lot. So we had to travel 1 hour to get to work, to share accommodation because it's quite an expensive city. So these are maybe some of the drawbacks about living in some of these expensive cities, but it was definitely worth it. I gained some very valuable teaching experience, made lifelong friends, and traveled a lot from Dubai to other countries as it's well connected there. So just some info about the university. I told students from 18 to 20 years old, and of course, its name is Jumeirah University, as I mentioned. The nationalities of the students were Emiratis, Palestinian, Jordanian. And of course, I had the opportunity here to not just teach foundation, but to teach other courses like academic writing, English for academic purposes, especially for business, and some English for beginners, which was similar maybe to foundation for Islamic majors here. Very happy that it was a new facility. We had all we could ask for. They really invested in students. It was a new university, as I mentioned. So it was a really good place to be, and everything that a teacher needs was available there. It was an opportunity to me also to develop the English syllabi because, of course, as a new university, they haven't developed the syllabi fully because they just had 2 generations of students. So it was quite enjoyable to work with the English team on those syllabi and to learn how to create this as a novice teacher after my master. I quite liked this university because it was also a small and cohesive community, so everybody knew each other. It was quite a warm atmosphere as well, and students were really amazing people, not just as students, but as people as well. They were very humane. So we go to Muscat. I will just try to keep this short because I want to talk about some academic stuff a bit later. Right now I'm in Muscat, Oman, where I moved from Dubai. It's just a 4-hour drive from Dubai. And I really prefer it because there are so many friendly people. Students are extremely friendly and modest. There is a relaxed pace of life away from this 21st century rush that so many cities are experiencing, I guess. And there is plenty of sunshine, and sunshine. We have maybe more than 300 days of sunshine per year, which is quite good for your motivation when you wake up in the morning, I would say. When you see the sun in the sky, you get along with your day. I work at SQU at the moment. This is the Sultan Qaboos University, the biggest university, biggest governmental university in Oman. It's the top ranked in Oman and top 10 in the Middle East. And there are 44 different English courses to teach. So you can imagine the variety. Teachers can choose what to teach, which is what I like here in this university. So the courses range from foundation courses to credit courses, and you can teach many ESP courses like English for agriculture or English for engineering and so on. There are so many committees and units where teachers can participate and give their own opinion about what needs to be changed, maybe with assessment or materials development, some projects that you can make to create lots of activities for the students. And I really enjoy the work here because you can choose what you want to focus on. So if you are more prone to making assessments, you can do that. If you are more into projects, creating listening activities, let's say, you can also do that, yeah. Just a bit more information about Sultan Qaboos University. So the students are from 18 to 26 years old. Of course, it's located in Muscat, in Oman. And the nationality of the students are mostly Omanis, but we have also other Arab nations like Palestinians, Jordanians, Tunisians as well. The courses that the university offers, I mentioned some of them. We have all the foundation courses, like all the skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And of course, we have academic writing for science, which I'm teaching now, which is specifically for the science and agriculture colleges. So basically how to write lab reports in English, how to analyze a graph or a chart, similar to the IELTS task 1 for academic writing. Also, we have different specific courses like English for engineering and English for business, all of these other courses. And of course, teachers come from 37 different nationalities. So can you imagine that? We have 37 nationalities among teachers. So it's quite an international context to work in. And that's what I enjoy here at this university. I would just speak quickly about my IELTS examiner experience. So how I became speaking skills examiner. So it really helped me in developing my assessment skills, especially in speaking. And of course, it made me more aware of my spoken language. So wait a minute, right? Why do I use these same words all over again, right? So I try to kind of evaluate my speaking after being a speaking examiner for years. So it's quite good for self-reflection as well. Looking at other people and then looking at yourself and your own speaking. I met a variety of people from different backgrounds. The candidates range from people from Asia, Africa, the Americas, Middle East, of course. So there are so many people as candidates because, again, Oman is a country where people come and work. So we have lots of foreigners here. And of course, there are opportunities to travel with this work. So sometimes we are sent to other cities in Oman, not just in Muscat, to examine and to do this test. So it's quite an enjoyable experience as well to do this because it improves your speaking skill as well, and it develops the assessment skill regarding speaking. So finally, we come to the teaching abroad benefits. And I would say that there are new challenges every day. And some of you might say, well, this is not a benefit, right? If there are new challenges every day. But I really take it as a benefit because you want to try something new every day, right? To overcome this challenge at work or in society or with people here because of different cultures, yeah? So that's what motivates me to go further. Then we have the ability to develop as a teacher or a researcher more than in my home country. I will just speak about my home country. I don't know much about the opportunities in Indonesia. But I would say that yes, here you have more opportunities, more conferences, more research is funded than back home, definitely. And plus the city and the country have this international and vibrant community where you can meet people from all over the world again. We have students who motivate teachers, of course. There are not many, as some of you might know, if you're already teachers. But those that are really hardworking and trying are really motivating us to continue and to push, give them some extra work, counsel them maybe in some way, which is good for us as well, which is directly related to our motivation. Some other benefits include the high pay, the employment benefits, of course, depending on where you work abroad, the ability to travel easily, especially now in the 21st century, good medical coverage, free accommodation. So imagine not paying for rent in some of these countries. It's quite good because you're saving a lot of money. And at the end, I would like to quote Lipton from 1993. I know it's an old quote, but I would say that the individual who works abroad is a fluid and many-sided individual, like he said. Yeah, so we have this concept of fluidity, which means that people are adaptable, and also there are many sides to this individual, not just one side. So individuals with open minds, basically. and lots of sides to them, not just an English teacher, right? So there are so many other sides of one person. Let's talk about the drawbacks really quickly. So I would say that, of course, the distance from home is the biggest drawback. You don't see the people you like and your family because they're far from you. You have to get used to different societies, culture-wise, religion-wise, educational system-wise. Yeah, it's very hard to adapt to what the institution expects from you sometimes. So maybe they expect too much from you, or maybe they don't expect much, so they don't offer these opportunities as much. The expectations for both teacher and institution are sometimes quite different. And of course, there is work stress. Sometimes there are too many tasks to finish, right? The different committees, grading, teaching as well. The last drawback, I would say, is the student's first language. So of course, if you teach abroad, there is a high probability that the student's language would not be the same as your first language. So it's quite difficult to understand their language mistakes if you don't speak that language, yeah? But by the time you are in the country for a few years, you learn some of the language, and I think it becomes easier to understand how they think, how they express themselves in their native language, and to see the usual mistakes they do in the foreign language, in this case, English. Let's turn now to more academic stuff. So we'll talk about employability, and this is a definition set by Fugate at their associates in 2004. So they say that the individual's career identity drives this collection of characteristics that the individual has. So how much of your career identity basically is connected to your individual characteristics as a person. And we have three main parts here in this employability context, which are career identity. So basically, what is your role in society? What is your occupation? What is your role in the organization where you work or where you volunteer, etc., right? So what is your career identity, definitely? Then we have personal adaptability, which is you're still willing to learn, you're a lifelong learner, you have this optimism that everything will turn okay, and you're willing and flexible to adapt. And last, we have social and human capital, which is your networking experience, basically, your social relations, education, your overall experience in this case. So basically, we should ask ourselves, how employable are we, right? Based on these three main parts of employability. We should think about all three and see if we would employ each other. We would employ ourselves, right? Because if we don't think so, then there is a high likelihood that other institutions might not think so as well. So we should keep working on these three concepts of employability here. Next, we're going to talk about career resilience. So this is the adaptation and persistence in face of problems and adversity. So basically, of course, this year is very tough for all of us. It's a global pandemic, right? But we have to adapt and persist with online teaching, of course, and so many other things which we are used to doing face-to-face, but now we're doing online. And we have to keep growing, right? We have to keep an open mind to develop, maybe to reframe some career goals, because times are changing, of course. Every day brings new opportunities, new ways of doing things. Of course, this has to do also with searching for training, development opportunities, right? So we keep persisting to develop more and to become better professionals, better teachers, and to create strong professional networks. So this is quite similar to what we talked about in social, in the social part of employability in the third part there. Next is career sustainability. So basically, how sustainable is our career? And this is from Lawrence et al. In 2017. So we have to look at the past, present, and the future, basically. Yeah. So we have some shared responsibility between us and the organizations that employ us, right? We want to sustain our jobs, but basically want to sustain the quality as well of teaching and learning in our profession when it comes to teaching, for example. So I would say that, yes, reflection on career and personal goals is really important here, because we want to sustain our drive, our motivation to keep fulfilling these goals one by one. Yeah. So if something doesn't work, we can maybe adapt, but we can keep doing it, right? Not just discarding. Maybe we can do it a year later, 2 years later. Yeah. We shouldn't really give up on something. Then we talk about current knowledge, right? So we have a lot of knowledge gained through our experience and qualifications, and we try to adapt it to new situations. So how we teach online, maybe some teachers panicked at the beginning, right? But we kind of expect teachers to self-develop and also to be motivated to learn how to do that. And this is a quote, a good quote from Lund and his associates from 2020, that career sustainability is basically about innovation, learning, and adaptation. So basically, we have to keep up with the times and to see what the future might bring, right? So that's why I talked about past, present, and future in the beginning, just to see what happened in the past, what's happening now, and what will the future bring when it comes to education. Of course, many people have this debate: are degrees more important or experience? And I would say yes, degrees are important. Qualifications like master's or PhD are really important, but also experience matters. Yeah. So how do we deal with challenges and issues? For example, the native speaker challenge. Of course, some native speakers maybe did some other job like electrician or some other job and then switched to English teaching. Whereas we as professionals have decided from the beginning to dedicate to English language teaching. And it's not easy because it's our second language. But of course, we learn it as a foreign language at the beginning, yeah? So this is why maybe we have more insight into how a person learns a new language rather than a native speaker who only speaks their language, I would argue, and has not learned any other language in their lives. So maybe the future is online teaching. Maybe all these courses will be online, and universities would cut costs and invest in softwares rather than in buildings in the future. So what is it that you have to do in terms of degrees and experience, right? So you can ask yourself what you should do if the online teaching is the future, as the pandemic has showed us nowadays. So I'm nearing the end of my presentation, and these are some websites where I search for jobs. If you're interested after completing your education or even now, you can search international jobs, and these are some of them, some of the websites, but there are so many of them, and there are jobs in every continent basically. So I encourage you to check out these links and maybe find your dream job there. There are so many ads that you can use, that you can click on, and they show you what they offer to an English teacher, and what are the responsibilities, of course. Of course, keep on self-improving. So attend, present at ELT conferences, read some journals. We have the ELT journal, TESOL journal, the second language journal, basically. So stay updated of what's happening in the field. Of course, work on pronunciation, improving your accent. We all have an accent as non-native speakers, that's normal. But I think that we can improve by practicing and eliminate our accents, because this leads to miscommunications sometimes. So it's really important to work on that as regards to your speaking, of course, and try to give back to the community, right? So of course, teach at a local school maybe, or teach at a local project. So try to return what the community invested in you, I would say. So maybe you want to ask these questions at the end to yourself, basically. Why did I choose teaching? Yeah, where would I be in 5 years from now? What do I need to do to become a better teacher, researcher? And you can click on this link and do the survey if you want. It's totally optional. You can answer some questions about teacher motivation and what motivates you as a teacher. You can think about each question which is there in the survey. There are different types of questions, open-ended and multiple choice questions as well. So these are my references for this presentation. I hope that you enjoyed it. I tried to give some personal touch and describe my experience while teaching, but also to focus on some academic articles and to see what kind of things expect us, what kind of thing drives us as well, and to self-reflect on these things heading forward into 2021, hopefully a better year than this one. So thank you so much for your attention, and good luck for all of your future teacher training and careers, jobs as well. I will take some questions if you have any.
Okay, so thank you so much, Tiho. And there is already a question. So what is the difficulty to teach in Dubai? You know, like he's asking about the grammar, English and Arabic. So I don't think you teach Arabic, right? But
no, I just teach English. Yeah.
So now the second question from the sub: what is your biggest challenge of teaching in a foreign country, and why do you want to work internationally?
So the biggest challenge of teaching in a foreign country, I would say, yes, it's being far from home and missing the people that are back home, and also to adjust to the level of students. So maybe sometimes the level of students in English is different than the level of students back home. So you have to create materials and assessments that address their needs. So basically that's the biggest challenge when it comes to the job, to the teaching job.
Probably, how long have you been, how long have you been working in the university in Oman?
Sorry, I cannot hear well. Maybe the sound is breaking.
How long have you been working in Oman?
In Oman, now 5 years. For 5 years.
Home, you know, to be there for 5 years.
Yes.
And do you expect that you will spend like longer time over there?
Sure, as I mentioned, it's quite a nice place to work.
Over there?
Yeah, it has lots of opportunities as a teacher, as a researcher. It's the biggest university in Oman and top ranked in the Middle East. Plus, the country has this perfect vibe, I would say, where the life is relaxed, nobody rushes for everything, so time has different meaning here. I would say that nobody values time as in the West they do. So nobody thinks that time is money here.
Okay, so what about culture shock? So somebody is asking you, what about culture shock? And how do you deal with it?
With the culture shock? Okay, with the culture shock, well, you try to kind of see what's happening, like how people react in society. You have to be more patient. And I would say that the skill that I most developed in Oman is patience, because they have a lot of patience here, people living here. And you have to wait and see how they will react to what you're saying. You will have to be persistent as well to get what you want, whether in the job or outside in society. But yeah, with culture shock, you can basically read blogs online to see what other expats have to say about life in this country where you plan to move. You can also watch some videos. If you have some good friends maybe working in that country, you can contact them and get to know some more details about what to expect.
Okay, so like Middle East is a very exotic place for me because I've never been there. I've never had, like close friends from there. Like what are the most distinctive characteristic of the people over there? Because I've never been there basically, so I'm quite curious.
In Oman?
In Oman or probably in the Arab world.
Okay, so in Oman, they're quite different than Dubai, I would say. So they're quite modest. They used to live in the countryside a lot in the past, usually come from farmers' families, and they're not as ambitious or driven as some people are. So that's what I like about them. They're very simple people. They're very friendly. They're helpful. So if you have any problem on the road, for example, if your car is not working, so many people will stop and offer help without expecting anything in return. And this is the kind of country I think everybody wants to live in, where people just help each other with nothing to expect in return.
So it is like, Indonesia, like probably in big cities, things are not like that anymore. But by the way, is Muscat a big city?
Yes, I would say it's about almost 1 million people. Yeah.
Almost 1 million. So I think Surabaya is a bit bigger.
Yeah.
And more people. So this is another question. I heard a lot about Delta and Delta certification. So how helpful are they to help you get jobs overseas?
Yes, I would say Sultan and Delta are helpful, but when it comes to universities in this region, no. They value traditional degrees more, like masters and PhD. So if you want to work in a language school or language institute, yes, they will accept Delta and Delta. I think in Turkey, in the Middle East, even in Europe, you can get a teaching job abroad with these qualifications. Yeah.
Okay, so talking about working abroad, like for example, you in Oman, do you think you as foreigners have bigger opportunities to be employed?
In our profession, yes, because for Arabs, teaching is not the greatest job, and I think that they prefer to do some other jobs like engineering and maybe related to the oil field, because the Arab world is famous for the oil, as you might know. So yes, I mean, it's quite easy to get a teaching job as long as you have the experience and qualifications if you work on yourself. And I think that there are quite a lot of opportunities. We have, I mean, many language centers opening in Oman. People are willing to learn foreign languages. So even if you're teaching something else like Spanish or French or another language, you might get a job in Oman, not just English.
And you're from Macedonia, right? So what language? What is your native language actually?
My native language?
What is your native? Yeah.
It's Macedonian, so it's basically a Slavic language, very similar to Russian.
Oh, I see.
It comes from that Slavic group of languages where Central, East, and South Europe countries speak these languages.
And I believe the grammar is complicated, especially for
so it's similar also to.
Yeah, so the grammar is very complicated.
Yes, the grammar.
The grammar is crazy.
Extremely, yes. So when we learn English in Macedonia, it's so easy because a table is a table. It doesn't have a gender, or you don't have to put million prefixes and suffixes on it. So it's quite easy for us.
And not to mention the number of the alphabets, right? So we have 26 in English. What about in your language? How many alphabets do you have with all the accents and stuff?
We have 31.
31, right? Yeah.
But yeah, what's easy in our language is that one sound is one letter always, and there are no exceptions. So if you know the alphabet, if you know the letters, then you know all the sounds. So for example, for us, the letter B would be two sounds, B, E. So in my language, we just call the letter B, B, because it's one sound. It's not related to a vowel as well. So I think that it's quite an easy alphabet and sound system to learn in that way.
Okay, so thank you. Time is up, Tiho. So thank you so much for your sharing, and I hope this will give an insight for us, especially that most of us would like to be teachers. So when you want to be teachers, so be proficient and you can teach just abroad like Tiho. Why not? Because right now English has become like world English, so it doesn't matter whether you are a native speaker or a non-native speaker. As long as you master the language perfectly, then you can get hired. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. And I think that is the end of the presentation. And I hope that you enjoy, these two presentations. It's always about motivating yourself. Try to motivate yourself. Okay, that you can do better in a higher scope, higher level and everything. So I guess that will be.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tiho, and thank you so much, Periplus also, for the cooperation. On behalf of the English department, I would like to extend my, gratitude. All right, so I would like to return this one to the moderator again, and I think we have Mr. Andreas. I think he's coming with some games. Come on.
Carmelo?
Yeah.
Perhaps Tiho can stop sharing the screen first, perhaps. Yeah, so Pak Carmelo?
Yes, Pak Andreas, you may continue with the games and questionnaire. Please do so.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Pak Carmelo, for that. Thank you so much, Ms. Felippa Amanta and Mr. Tihomir Davchev for the great speeches and great talks, and Pak Hadi for the moderator. So now it is time for gifts, because I'm not a Santa Claus, of course, but here in the English department, we have some gifts for you. And let me share my screen so that we can play the game. Of course, you're familiar with the game. It's a Kahoot game. Okay, so let's play the game, and you please prepare your phone and get to the kahoot.it, and then I will give you the pin afterwards. Okay, I will give you the pin. So give me a second, give me a moment to yeah, this is it. Would you please join in and put down your names there? anyone can join. Pak Toto, Pak Carmelo, Pak Haji, Tiho. If you still have time, you may join. But if you still have classes to teach, we understand that. Really?
No, sure, I can join. Thank you.
Sure. So Tiho was my classmate when we were in University of Leeds. He is a very wonderful friend, a great teacher as well. A great. He is my best friend, basically. Right. Thank you so much for joining us. So for the game, we have Brigitte, Jennifer, Lina, Carmen. What about the others? Let's join this game to win a secret prize. Secret prize. Okay, but you may join, really. You can join it, that is okay. But we will give another gift for you, not the merchandise from the department. Okay, we have Feli, we have Tiho, we have Ananta, we have Seko Sambo. Okay, who else do we have here? Put down the volume. Okay, let's wait for another minute. The time is ticking. Okay, Pak Hadi is not joining. That's all right, Pak. But you may if you want to. I will give you a big round of applause for if you win this game, really. So it's just a game, basically, to refresh our mind about this seminar. Again, this seminar is proudly presented by the English Department of Widya, Mandala, and Periplus Education. Thank you so much for the great opportunity. And by the end of this session, we're going to distribute the link to the questionnaires where you can fill in your details, where you can get the certificates and the other things that we need to do for the administration. Okay. Later on, if you win the game, the prize will be in the form of money. Oh, money. Everything is about money. Yeah. Right, so I give you still 30 seconds to join. 30 seconds. We will transfer the money cash if you prefer cash. We can transfer via OVO, GoPay, Dana, or the others. Okay. Okay, let's check. Is that it? How many people do we have here in the game? 45. We have 130 participants in the seminar. Is that it? Only 46 people to join in? 46? Okay, I will start the game in 20 seconds. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's play the game. Sorry, no more additional players. Okay, bye-bye. Let's play the game now. The first question. We only have 6 questions. The English Language Education Study Program was established in... It's quite a tough question. If you know the answer, you might be a person from our department. That is correct. That is the answer. So who is the winner of the game? Axel. Who's that person? Axel. And the second position is Margaret. The third one, Jennifer, Carmen, and Marzuki. Wow. Okay, let's see. The next question. We only have a few questions left. This person is the secretary of our English department. True or false? 50-50 chances to answer. It is true, yeah. She is our beloved secretary of the English department, Bu Ice. Thank you for the great effort for the department. The first rank is Carmen. The second one is Axel. The third one is Feli. And the third and the fourth have the same scores. Wow, it's kind of challenging here. What about the others, please? The first speaker, Ms. Felippa Amanta, graduated from UC Berkeley, USA, for her bachelor's, and ANU's in Australia for her master's degree. Is that correct or not? That is correct. She graduated from UC, University of California, Berkeley in the US, and she got her master's in Australian National University in Australia, in Canberra. Oh, that's my face there. Okay, next. And the first winner, still Carmen. The second position is Axel as the runner-up. The third position is Billy. And the third and the fourth positions have been changed by different people. Wow. Three more questions, please. For the first semester, you will take English integrated course that takes about how many credits? 2, 3, 6. How many? So, how many credits? 6 credits. So, if you're familiar with me, actually I'm the coordinator of the course with Bururu as the teacher as well. It accounts for 6 credits. 6 SKS, 6 credits. Who is the winner? Wow, Billy is number 1. Number 2 is Tiho. Oh wow, that's a good guess, man. I mean, you just guessed it, of course, because you don't know it at all. Right, and the positions have been changed over time. We have 2 more questions. The English department has been accredited A by the National Accreditation Body. So we are among the best. Universities in Indonesia as the private institutions. Is it true or false? That is correct. Come on, you answered false. What do you mean, man? I mean, you're in Widya Mandala, one of the best universities in Indonesia or even in the world. Right, 43 people answered correctly. And who is the first? Tiho is correct. Oh, wow, man. You really, you have a good luck, you know. You're very good. You have a very good luck, really, to be honest. And the others, please keep up the good work. This is the last question. Mr. Tihomir Davchev is a Macedonian, Canadian, an American, or an Omani? That is the question. It's a very difficult one, really. It's a very difficult one for Tiho. What is your nationality, man? So what's the answer? He is a Macedonian. Macedonia is located in the eastern part of Europe. Basically, in the eastern part of Europe, in the Balkan, one of the Balkan countries near Greece, the country that Tihomir does not like very much. Now let's see who the winners for these games. Start is the number 3, the winner number 3. Number 2 is Olive, and the first winner is. Oh my God! Is that even possible?
I give my prize to the second.
So that is correct. So those who are so it's supposed to be I don't know whether Tiho can join, but we will send some gifts for Tiho then. Right, so I will stop sharing, and then the winners for today, please contact Tiho, the department later on. Okay. Right, so I will stop sharing, and then I will return this to. Oh yeah, we'll take 5 people. We'll take more people. Sorry, the voice is quite. So so some gifts will be given out to the people who ask the questions. Okay, the gifts will be given to those who ask questions as well. So was it Pak Ahmad Marzuki for the person who asked questions, and the others in Felippa's session. Okay, so we have one last thing to do, which is the questionnaire. Jessica, are you with me? Can you please send the link to the questionnaire now? If it is right. Can you please send the link? Yeah. So, or yeah, you can click on that, the bit.ly/international careers dash questionnaire. Okay. And then please fill in the questionnaire before 5 p.m. today. So that's it for me. I'm just a game man, a man who presents the game only. And that's it from me, Pak Carmelo. Thank you so much for the time. See you next time. Pak Carmelo, please.
All right, thank you very much, Pak Andreas, the game man, for the Kahoot game. So much fun. And thank you very much as well for our great speakers today, Ms. Pipa and Mr. Tiho, also Pak Hadi as our moderator this evening. And let's give them one more warm applause. You can give them smiley or flower in reactions icon below, like this. Yeah, but as our appreciation for them all. And then I'm sure we are all had a lot of insights as well as getting motivated to develop our skills, especially in English language, to achieve our future dream. In this event, I would like to introduce a bit about Periplus. As Ms. Pipa mentioned a lot about inspiring books. Yes, that's kind of service we are stand for. We are imported books distributor in Indonesia, and we have 3 main divisions right now. We have Periplus Bookstore, you may know, in Surabaya, I think in Galaxy Mall. Also, we have periplus.com, our e-commerce platform. And where we are now is a Periplus Education division who are supporting education field. We provide educational books, teacher resource, readers, reference, and all about education resource material. We are aiming to increase literacy ratio of Indonesia students as well as, so anytime you need something related to education or want to get any imported books, do not hesitate to contact us, or you can also visit our website. Since most of you participants this evening is university student, we also like to inform you that we provide education books from preschool all the way through higher education. We'll give you education resource catalog for some areas such as education, economic, management, and so on. Please feel free to download and take a look. We'll put the link on the chat box. So Mas Tony, please put the link of higher education catalog on the chat box. If you find any books you might be interested with, you can directly contact us. Well, last but not least, on behalf of Widya Mandala University, as the best universities in Indonesia, and Periplus, we apologize for any mistakes. As Ms. Pipa said, hope you don't really care about our mistakes, yet you will remember all the good things, positive vibes, and all the insights in this webinar. This event is live streaming on Periplus YouTube channel, so if you have connection or passion in education, literacy, or even you are a book lover, you may subscribe our channel for other webinar and video related. Again, thank you very much for your participation. Whatever you want to be, a teacher or other profession, together we believe that education is important and English language is a must if you want to reach international global career. In the end, we wish you all the best, very success in your ongoing learning, your future development, your career ahead, and see you again in other occasions. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Back to committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiho. Thank you, Pak Andreas, Pak Adi. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mas Tony, you wanna share some videos or something?
Langsung saja ngeklik di sini, prosesnya cepat tak ingkar janji. Bila perlu buku bermutu, Periplus siap membantu. Periplus Langsung saja ngeklik di sini. Prosesnya cepat, tak ingkar janji. Bila perlu buku bermutu. Periplus yang membantu. Periplus ada untukmu. Periplus yang membantu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Still
thank
80
you.
participants for class reunion, probably.
Thank you, Mas Carmelo.
Thank you, Pak Toto.
Mbak Puput, matur nuwun.
Terima
Mas
kasih
Tony.
Pak Toto, terima kasih Pak
Terima kasih
Hadi.
semuanya. Bye
Matur,
bye.
thank you, Mbak Puput.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Periplus. Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Terima
you,
kasih
thank you.
Widya, Pak Andreas.
Sama-sama, Bu Puput.
Makasih Pak Carmelo.
Terima kasih Pak Carmelo.
Sami-sami. Who's that?